20 of the world's most notorious serial killers ever seen. Welcome to our chilling exploration into the depths of human darkness. In this video, we delve into the macabre world of serial killers where terror and tragedy collide. Brace yourselves as we uncover the twisted minds and heinous acts of 20 of the most notorious serial killers to ever walk the earth. From the cryptic enigma of the Zodiac to the gruesome atrocities of Pedro Rodriguez Filho, each story is a harrowing reminder of the darkness that lurks within humanity. There are a lot of serial killers in the globe. There is an infinite list of such individuals who have done atrocious atrocities. However, some people have truly taken center stage for the heinous crimes against humanity that have been done. The world has witnessed 20 of the most heinous and well-known serial killers to date. Number 1, Death by Zodiac, a well-known serial killer. The murderer created this persona for himself by sending the Bay Area press mocking letters. Of the 4 ciphers he sent, only one was conclusively solved before he left the others to be deciphered. Throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s, the murderer was active in California. His most recent letter stated, SFPD, San Francisco Police Department, 0 and me, 37. Only 7 of the 37 individuals he claimed to have slain were authenticated by the newspapers. The case file remains unresolved. Number 2. Donald Henry Gaskins, the traveler's companion murderer. According to Gaskins, he has tortured and disfigured between 80 and 90 people to death. In 1969, he began his murderous career by taking in hitchhikers on the American South's coastal roadways. After seeing him murder 2 young men, a criminal associate came clean to the authorities. He was given a death sentence, which was eventually changed to a life term without the possibility of release. Gaskins became the only man to have ever slain a prisoner on death row and added another murder to his record. Number 3. Tsutomu Miyazaki, Dracula in human form. In addition, he is among the most well-known serial killers. His heinous deeds earned him more nicknames. Among them were Dracula Miyazaki, the little girl murderer, and the otaku murderer. He killed the young girls he had stolen, took their bodies, and had sex with them, which is why. He once ate the victim's hand in addition to drinking her blood. In addition, he mailed postcards to the families detailing the murder and saved body parts as souvenirs. In 2008, at the age of 45, Miyazaki was hanged and his father committed suicide. Ted Bundy, the insane fan of horror. Number 4. Ted Bundy, the crazy necrophile. American serial killer, abductor, rapist, and necrophile Ted Bundy was all of these things. He admitted to killing 30 women while conducting business in several U.S. states. He went back to murder scenes and had sex with the bodies. At least 12 victims had their heads severed by Bundy, who kept the trophies in his apartment. 1989 saw the death of Bundy, then 42, in the electric chair. Ted, according to his own defense lawyer, was the very definition of heartless evil. Number 5. Whitechapel Murder or Jack the Ripper. The true murderer or murderers were never found. The victim's missing organs and the killer's apparent surgical background led to the creation of the moniker. In the London slums between 1888 and 1891, a single person, subsequently assumed to be Jack the Ripper, murdered young women who worked as prostitutes. Number 6. Beast Luis Garavito. The Colombian, who goes by La Bestia, the beast in the media, is arguably one of the worst serial killers in history. He acknowledged torturing, raping, and killing 147 young boys. However, it's thought that there are more than 300. 139 offenses, of which he should have served 1,853 years in jail, were found against him. However, the maximum term allowed by Colombian law is 30, which is what he received in 1999. Because of his cooperation and good behavior, he might be released earlier. Number 7. The sorcerer Ahmad Siraji, The Indonesian livestock breeder acknowledged killing 42 women and girls between 1986 and 1997. He used to bury them waist-deep as part of his rite. He thought that by having the bodies in a sugarcane field facing his house, he would gain greater authority. In 2008, Suraji received a firing squad death sentence. Number 8. Alexander Pichushkin, the murderer of chessboards. He was also referred to as the Bitsa Park maniac and the chessboard killer. He used alcohol to entice homeless guys to his house, making them his targets. He is thought to have killed 49 people, the majority of whom suffered repeated strikes to the head from hammers, and he also put a vodka bottle inside one of their open skull wounds. At first, he declared his intention to murder 64 individuals and fill all the squares on a chessboard. Furthermore, it's thought that he was up against Andrei Chikatilo, a fellow Russian serial killer who was found guilty in 1992 of 53 murders. That was the year Alexander began his murderous rampage. Number 9. Chikatilo Andrei, the butcher. The butcher of Rostov, Andrei claimed, "I felt a sense of psychological relief after using my knife. I am aware that I must be destroyed. I was an error in nature." Between 1978 and 1990, he was the one who killed and disfigured 53 women and children in Russia, in addition to sexually abusing them. He was to be executed by firing squad in 1994 after being apprehended in 1992. Number 10. Charles Edmund Cullen, the Death Angel. Cullen was a nurse in numerous hospitals, but he was fired from many of them due to his suspicious behavior, so he continued changing professions. He admitted to killing 40 elderly New Jersey victims between 1984 and 2003. He achieved this by using overprescribed medication to poison his victims to death. He said he wished to alleviate the patient's pain in a manner like to that of an angel. According to experts, he had around 300 victims. Cullen is a lifelong prisoner. Number 11. The trashbag killer Patrick Wayne Kearney. He also went by the name Trashbag Killer, and he was active from 1975 to 1977. Despite having a high IQ, Kearney admitted to killing 32 homosexual males after he was apprehended. Kearney got the moniker by disposing of their bodies in trash bags and dumping them alongside California roads. Despite being found guilty of 21 murders, he received a life sentence due to his confession. Number 12. Dennis Rader, killer of BTK. Dennis Rader killed 10 people in Wichita, Kansas between 1974 and 1991. He also used the moniker BTK, which stands for Bind, Torture, Kill, to send mocking letters to the police. His method involved following his victims around, breaking into their houses, securing their limbs with bindings, and then strangling them. He vanished in 1988, but he surfaced in the media in 2005 after sending a floppy disk that assisted in his identification. After admitting to his crimes, Rader was given 10 consecutive life terms. His earliest date of freedom is February 26, 2180. Number 13. John George Hay, murderer of acid baths. In the 1940s, John George Hay, also referred to as the acid bath murderer, committed murders. Despite his claims to have killed 9 individuals, he was found guilty of the killings of 6. He was a skilled con artist who used charm and trickery to get rich people into a warehouse where he would later shoot them. He would then use sulfuric acid to dissolve their corpses, then fabricate documents to sell their belongings and withdraw their life savings. In 1949, he received a death sentence and was hung. Number 14. Paul Knowles, the murderer of Casanova. Known by another name, the Casanova Killer, Knowles killed victims by using his seduction to persuade them to trust him. He claimed to have killed 18 individuals in all, although there may have been more. Children, women, and men were among his victims. In the end, the Florida man was slain in 1974 while attempting to flee by an FBI agent. Number 15. William Bonin, the Killer of the Freeway. Another moniker for Bonin was the Freeway Killer. He sexually assaulted, tortured, and killed at least 21 young men between 1979 and 1980. Bonin would dispose of their corpses by South Californian motorways. In 1996, following his conviction for 14 murders, he was put to death by lethal injection. Throughout his prison term, he continued to exhibit his sadistic tendencies by communicating by letter with the families of several of his victims regarding their children's responses to his abuse. Number 16. Aileen Wuornos, Unnatural Being. Charlize Theron was able to win an Academy Award because to her tale. In 2003, she portrayed Aileen in the film Monster. Aileen died via fatal injection in 1992 after killing 7 men for their money while working as a prostitute in Florida. She admitted to shooting the guys and said they had all either raped her or attempted to rape her. Number 17. Jeffrey Dahmer, the cannibal from Milwaukee. Between 1978 and 1991, Jeffrey Dahmer was the person who dismembered 17 men and boys. Dahmer also enjoyed necrophilia and prepared and consumed his victims' body parts. He was eventually apprehended after being overcome by a potential victim. In 1992, Dahmer was found guilty and given 15 life sentences. However, 2 years later at the Columbia Correctional Institution, he was fatally beaten by another inmate. Number 18. John Wayne Gacy. John Wayne Gacy. Known as the Burial King, Gacy operated in Chicago, Illinois, from 1972 to 1978. He killed 33 young men and teenage boys after sexually abusing them. With the promise of employment or money, Gacy would entice his victims to his house, where he would strangle them to death with a tourniquet. He dumped the corpses of 26 of his victims into the Des Plaines River after burying them in the crawl space beneath his home. After being found guilty of 33 murders, Gacy received a death sentence and was detained for 14 years before being killed on May 10, 1994, by lethal injection. Number 19. The brutal Texan Tommy Lynn Sells. Maybe the most dangerous Texan in history is Tommy Lynn Sells. He asserted that he had murdered at least 70. Between 1985 and 1999, he committed 16 savage killings, one of which involved stabbing a 13-year-old girl. A 10-year-old girl was stabbed by Sells after he broke into her bedroom and left her to die. She was hurt, but she lived and provided the authorities with a thorough account of Sells. He was given a death sentence and is still detained in a Texas high-security facility on death row. Number 20. Pedro Rodrigues Filho, madman from Brazil. After being detained in 1973, Pedro was found guilty in 2003 of the murder of at least 71 individuals, and he was given a 128-year prison sentence. His first killing occurred when he was just 14 years old. While he was incarcerated, he exacted revenge on neighborhood drug dealers by killing one of them. He even put his own father to death while he was incarcerated for murder. While incarcerated, Filho went on to murder at least 47 prisoners. Due to his ongoing murders, his sentence has been extended to 400 years in jail. As we conclude our journey through the annals of infamy, we are left haunted by the chilling tales of these 20 serial killers. Their names may live on in infamy, but let us never forget the lives they took and the devastation they wrought upon countless families and communities. May their stories serve as a sobering reminder to remain vigilant and steadfast against the darkness that lurks in the shadows. Thank you for joining us on this chilling exploration. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content exploring the darker aspects of human nature. Until next time, stay safe and never let the shadows consume you.